So today, the bombshell news, guys, keeps dropping. This is it. Everybody, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Mike Johnson, the three men who will change the course of the future of the United States for the next 50 years with whatever happening is getting huge. Elon Musk has thrown a bomb into the DC swamp and has exposed everybody, including the deep state rhinos. He has dropped so much news, so much evidence. It is mind-blowing that the GOP is literally as bad as the Democrats, guys. Everything that we're going to show you today, we have the receipts. This is huge. The GOP was on Elon Musk's side till he exposed them, and it's now getting better every day because the Elon Musk, who is the richest man in the world, who is an immigrant from South Africa, is exposing to the entire world the corruption of DC. Please let me know in the comments where you stand, because I'm telling you, this is huge. Elon reminded Trump that in 2013, Trump said himself that the Republicans would be crazy to extend the debt ceiling. Elon is dropping bombs on everybody, but not only that, so is Trump. Trump just ordered Pam Bondi with official documentation to investigate the Biden auto pen scandal. Promises to expose the deep states is happening in real time. House Oversight Chairman James Comer is demanding that Biden officials Michael Donnellan, Anita Dunn, Ron Klain, Bruce Reed, and Steve Ricchetti sit for transcribed interviews or face subpoenas for the cover-up of Biden's mental disability and their abuse of the auto pen. Elon Musk came out and said Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid will see increases in payouts if we get to a balanced budget. We cannot, therefore, guarantee to the American people they will see Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid if we continue to spend as we are. So right here, everybody's being exposed. Making sure that our seniors are being taken care of is a super important deal to a lot of people in Congress, but especially to Elon Musk. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because again, this is so big. I'm telling you guys, grab some popcorn, take a seat. We are about to get into this. Elon Musk, Senator Mike Lee, is now officially drafting a new constitutional amendment to make every member of Congress ineligible for re-election if the federal deficit exceeds 3% of GDP. This is backed by Elon Musk now. They want accountability in Congress. They want accountability in the swamp to show American people that who we have there is truly not serving the American people. Republicans are now calling for Lindsey Graham to repay over $400,000 of taxpayer funds that he used for his Ukraine trip in the past month. A trip that he himself approved because he's the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. And because of this, they are now asking him to resign. How can he be in charge of the Budget Committee when he's staying at luxurious hotels in other countries trying to control and dictate foreign policy, and he is not in charge of that? So much is breaking news is happening, guys. I am so glad because, again, we finally are getting to see everything. New evidence is exposing the deep state of Mike Johnson, the rhinos, the Democrats, everybody across the board. Nobody is safe from the truth now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you. Guys, this is huge. Thank you for watching. To all of our subscribers, all of our members of the channel, to everybody that is watching, thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family here at TrueLife News so that we can serve you and take care of you every day with the top news. We are living through history right now. So much breaking and bombshell news. It is mind-blowing. I promise you, I would have bet everything we would never have seen Elon Musk, Trump, and Mike Johnson in the fight that they are in right now. Want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel and those that are supporting us. Remember, this month we are giving back to a local homeless veteran shelter. This channel gives back to charity once a month on the 22nd. You see this guy donate live on stream to a local charity, and we are changing lives with your support when you're a member or you give a super chat donation. I want to give some love to a loyal supporter, Elaine Demeen. Thank you so much, Elaine, for your support. Show Elaine some love in the chat. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, we are living through history right now. Not only did Elon Musk help Trump get elected, not only did Elon Musk create the Doge team to audit the entire federal government, but now he is calling out the very party, the GOP, the Republicans, for all their waste, fraud, and abuse. Trump is getting irritated right now that Elon is hitting his big, beautiful bill so hard. But again, what do we have to do? Put the American people first, and that's what you're about to hear. So much bombshell news, guys. Everybody's getting exposed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
The support for this bill seems to be falling apart right in front of us. And instead of going back to the drawing board and saying, oh, hey, maybe we, as in Congress, should trim it down a bit and change some things and tweak some things. No, they're just trying to keep it alive simply because it passed the House already.
I called Elon last night and he didn't answer, but I'm not upset about this. And I just, I think he understands, and he's acknowledged to me before, that this is so serious that we can't fool around with it.
Yeah, that's what we're concerned about. It is serious, and we're concerned about you guys fooling around with it. The bill wasn't perfect when it got there. Okay, and Elon, I think, is right on this one, because apparently you passed a bill that no one read, that you told us was so star-spangled awesome, Mike, that it had to be passed. And Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out today, or actually yesterday, full transparency. I did not know this section on pages 278 and 279 of the OBBB that strips states of the right to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years. She said, I'm adamantly opposed to this and is a violation of states' rights, and I would have voted no if I had known this was in there. This needs to be stripped out in the Senate. Look, I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's right on target about 99% of the time, and I'm generally pretty aligned with her on most things. But is it too much to ask that somebody who's getting paid $174,000 of my tax money a year to read the one major thing they voted on this month?
Guys, again, is this not the biggest bombshell news ever? Our own GOP people, the people that we thought were truly MAGA, supporting us, didn't even read the dang bill. How bad is this? And not only that, look at this. Elon Musk is launching a new campaign called Kill the Bill. Guys, Elon Musk urges Americans to oppose Trump's budget bill over debt concerns. All across the board, social media, everywhere, he is telling everybody we cannot push forward this bill as is. It will put the U.S. into a debt slavery. We will become slaves to our debt, guys. This bill, which is projected to increase the debt by $3 trillion. Is this not breaking crazy news? Like, this is the part here that I'm telling you. Across the board, we believed that there were some MAGA patriots who were actually doing their dang job that we pay them so much to do, $175,000 a year, plus all their benefits. A lot of them are coming out and said, we didn't know this was in the bill. We didn't know this is in the bill. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I mean, this is exactly what I've been ranting about for a month. Look, I know Trump supported this bill, but we also know that he is not thrilled about the final product. But how much other junk is there in this, like this bill? I have a theory, though, and this is just my theory, but I've recently been pretty right about a lot of things, so I'm just going to roll with it. I think Trump might be working in tandem with Elon here to tank his own bill in a 4D chess move. Just a theory.
Chess,
my
baby.
reasoning, I mean, like, how many people in the history of ever, like Trump's entire political career of the last decade, have come out against something Trump wants, and when has Trump just not gone off and completely obliterated them on like a global scale? Seriously. Ron DeSantis says one bad thing about Trump. Trump ruined his presidential career
yeah, he
potential.
did.
Massey, 99% aligned with Trump, doesn't vote for the big, beautiful bill, and Trump's supporting a primary against him. So why hasn't Trump said anything negative about Elon? You picking up what I'm putting down? I mean, maybe Trump is also reading the country that's not thrilled about massive deficits that this creates and saying, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have settled for what the Congress gave me, so let's put Congress in the hot seat and force it back to the drawing board. Is it crazy to think?
I'm telling you guys, you don't like all this stuff. It all makes sense. We're bringing you the receipts, everybody. And want to say, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Look what Elon Musk just posted. Guys, Elon Musk posted wise words. He literally reposted a tweet from Donald Trump back from January 23rd, 2013, which said, I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am embarrassed. Again, remember, Trump, Elon, geniuses. They're playing chess. Everybody's playing checkers, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this a conspiracy? Are we dealing like the guy in the middle over here, Mike Johnson? I don't trust this guy one bit. He's a slippery fish. But I'm telling you this, Trump wants to put America first, and so does Elon Musk, and we're finally seeing the actual change in Congress and holding them accountable.
I don't think so. I mean, one of the things that I think is really underplayed here is the fact that, yes, we get all these tax cuts now. Great. That's a huge Republican talking point, and they're always saying that's why we need to pass this to avoid the largest tax hike in history. Okay, well, first off, it was their idea to make the Trump tax cuts temporary in the first place. I realize there's like procedural reasons why they did this, but the procedure sucks. So I'm not giving them a pass on that because they made the procedure. So don't tell me we have to pass something so you can cover your own behind for not passing permanent tax cuts the first time, Mike Johnson. The other part is, yes, America gets the tax cuts right now, which is a great thing. It really is a good thing.
Yes.
And that is the one reason why I've been even mildly supportive of this bill, because taxation is theft. But almost all the spending cuts don't kick in until 2029. Why not start them tomorrow? So we're just going to increase the deficit by like $5 trillion. Rand Paul is all over this. Folks, look, there's a bunch of people out there that think that this is like some monolithic scenario where you either support Trump in the bill or you don't. It's not that simple. The left-wing media wants it to think that this is dividing Republicans, but let me tell you,
No.
You know, I'm like one of the most staunch MAGA guys since 2015, okay? You can be against something that Trump is for and still support Trump.
Yes.
Republicans who can't actually bear what Trump is doing to their own states and to their own constituents, but they're too scared to say they're against it.
Are there MAGA folks who would follow, or let's not kid ourselves, the voters who are MAGA are Trump MAGA?
This division between Tea Party Republicans, the Republicans that were born out of the beginning of the Obama presidency, where fiscal discipline is a major issue, government reform, cutting programs, and this new MAGA movement. President Trump really does not prioritize fiscal discipline.
So look, folks, I live in Connecticut where we lost the SALT tax and the first Trump taxes. I still supported them because they were good for the country. Cost me a ton of extra money a year, but I supported it on a large scale. So don't let Joe Scarborough or whatever those other talking heads say that, oh, MAGA's turning on Trump and Elon. There's no division. We just have a simple policy disagreement. We are turning on Republican members of Congress and the Senate, though.
Guys, I'm telling you, I show you everything. Look what just broke seconds ago, guys. Seconds ago. Elon Musk posted, whatever, keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched. Very unfair, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there's never been legislation that both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. And when you talk about who is getting called out right now, everybody. Republicans are now calling for Lindsey Graham to repay $400,000 of taxpayer funds he used for his Ukraine trip, a trip that he approved himself as chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. Now they're asking for him to resign because he has spent over the past 4 years $25 million plus having conversations with people in Ukraine that nobody knows about. But over $25 million were spent. I'm telling you, everybody, Elon Musk, True patriot, calling out everybody and exposing the fraud, the waste, the abuse.
We want to rubber stamp this without any criticism. All we want is a little bit better bill, just a little bit. Not too much to ask. I mean, you guys, after all, you guys did promise us all these things. And you had to read the bills the first time to pass them too. Like, I'm talking about all the bills. Like, why didn't you ever read any of these bills? I mean, maybe we wouldn't have had so many of the things in there that's wasting money that's now being sent back in this rescission package that the White House had to get together. The same thing that happened with this bill that Marjorie Taylor Greene pointed out is the reason why all this other stuff needed to be caught by DOJ, and we're in the fiscal situation we're in.
Boom.
Seriously, $33,000 for being LGBTQ in the Caribbean, $643,000 for LGBTQ programs in Western Balkans. I don't even know where that is. $567,000 for LGBTQ programs in Uganda. $5 million for Minority Serving Institute Fellowship Cooperative Agreement. What is that? $600,000 for training women in gender equity. $500,000 for electric buses in Rwanda. They don't even have electricity.
Right there, guys. Again. $5.1 million for resilience of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, and queer global movements. $3 million for circumcision and vasectomies and condoms in Zambia. You cannot tell me that the GOP is not the deep state or is part of the deep state or is corrupt, because all this stuff was approved for in the continuing resolution that was just passed a couple of months ago. And none of these cuts, guess what, are in the big, beautiful bill. If the next president comes in and undoes Trump's executive orders, every one of this money, these millions of dollars, goes back to these causes you're seeing on the screen. This is why Elon Musk is so upset. This is why he's fighting tooth and nail, because this stuff is not in the big, beautiful bill. And who the heck in the world would actually vote for this stuff, guys?
Some parts of Rwanda. $6 million for net zero cities in Mexico. Why are we doing that? $2.1 million for climate resilience in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and East Africa. $5 million for green transportation and logistics in Eurasia. $3 million for Iraqi Sesame Street. $833,000 for transgender people, sex workers, and their clients and sexual networks in Nepal. $5.1 million for resilience of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, and queer global movements. $3 million for circumcision, vasectomies, and condoms in Zambia. $135 million to the World Health Organization that got everything wrong on COVID. $1.1 billion for the left-wing Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which uses your public taxpayer money to fund PBS and NPR so they can dunk on Trump. You're going to sit there and tell me, any Republican right now, you're going to sit there and tell me that 218 or more people in the House voted to have those items individually funded with my tax dollars? I doubt it. Those items and millions of other things get stuffed into bills last minute by some legislative staffer. Nobody reads it. Then it goes to the House floor with the party whips just telling people to straight up vote for this or that. And if they're against it, they promise them something on the side. Committee position, or worse, additional earmarks for their district that one of their friendly contractors who may or may not have donated to their campaign might get a bid for.
Again, everything is on the table right now. You just heard everything that was said, guys. The waste, the fraud, the abuse is so real. That's why Senator Mike Lee is now officially drafting a new constitutional amendment to make every member of Congress ineligible for re-election if the federal deficit exceeds 3% of the GDP. This is an idea backed by Elon Musk, and a lot of people said they would never vote for it. Let me tell you this. There is so much of a populist movement right now against the deep state, against every person in Congress. Everybody's on the chopping block. Every person in Congress, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green New Party, I don't care. What we are seeing is that nobody is going to be safe anymore. Everybody's going to get primaried. Elon Musk said it himself. He will use his fortunes of over $400 billion to fund going after every person that voted for this crazy, pork-filled, disgusting abomination of a bill that pays for all this stupid stuff with our taxpayer dollars. If you approve of this, if you agree, Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button, guys, we are showing you everything that is happening, and it's only getting better because America is winning. The actual American, you and I are winning with the exposure of the corruption in the deep state.
That's how you got Sesame Street in Iraq. Not because it was a great idea, but because of the wheeling and dealing of Washington, D.C., which ironically enough is what we voted against in November. So here's an idea. Why don't we just go back to the 2016 budget? $3.85 trillion. Still a ton of money, but it's nearly half. It's nearly half of what we're spending now. What are we spending like now? COVID amounts of money. When we had to prop up an entire economy that was shut down. We don't need to spend that much money. I mean, the disease wasn't even that bad in the first place, but we are now spending Nancy Pelosi's budget. So what'll make me happy?
Yep.
Under $4 trillion in spending. I don't want to hear about the justification of discretionary and mandatory and reconciliation and all these other fancy terms that Congress throws around to hide behind the process that they made. That's the mandate. Do it. Don't do it.
Guys, let me show you this. Again, we bring the receipts. Everything that is happening in Congress is happening for a reason. And I want to give some love to Monica Lipscomb for the super chat. Let's go. And thank you so much, Fed Up Patriot. Said there's a reason that Elon made the remark that he did. Don't lose hope on the Trump plan. We play chess while Dems play checkers. Y'all show Monica and Fed Up Patriot some love in the chat. Right here, guys, I'm telling you, Trump is a genius at business and the tariffs. Trump's tariffs would cut budget deficits by $2.8 trillion. CBO says, not only that, the Rapid Response 47 team just reported this from the White House. CBO's biggest failures. CBO estimated that up to 25 million people will enroll in Obamacare plans. Enrollment of roughly 12 million. That is less than 50%. 2023 deficit spending and revenues. They projected relatively stable deficit for 2023. Well, guess what? They underestimated the deficit by $1 trillion. And then finally, the Inflation Reduction Act, which we call the Inflation Increased Act. The CBO score said it would create $58.1 billion in savings. Well, guess what? It actually cost us $428 billion, $500 billion in additional cost. We bring the receipts, guys. And that's why what you're about to see next is so huge because, again, we like to bring out the people that are on the inside that know what is actually going on. Check this out.
It's a leverage point because President Trump, even though he's going to run in 28, may not be here forever, so we need the debt ceiling. Here's the problem with Elon. It's very simple. He promised $1 trillion in cuts and waste, fraud, and abuse. And listen, for all the fanboys out there, I'm gonna treat you fanboys like little puppies. They're gonna rub your nose in the mess you made. All this thing about the rescissions, we're gonna do the first rescissions package, the $9.4 billion. There's not a line item in there. There's 11 line items, including $1 billion for NPR and $1 billion for. This has been fought. These are programmatic, right? All fanboys, Elon fanboys, take your number 2 pencil out and write this down. Programmatic means it's a program that's been passed in an appropriations bill that's called a law, okay? People have fought this. The audience has stayed up in the middle of the night in 2023 for the single subject bills, saw Eli Crane and Matt Gaetz and MTG and Lauren Boebert and Andy Biggs all night long at 3 o'clock in the morning. And what were they arguing about? Everything that's in that first rescissions bill. Mm-hmm. And who outvoted them? The Republican Party. Right. On the floor of the House, and you know this, they would sit there and make these incredible arguments. You had three podiums. One was the rebels, MTG, Gates, the same people, the same 20 people up there all the time. Then you had one in the middle, it was the Rhino Republicans, and you had the Democrats, and the Democrats just sat there the whole time, and then they said, no, we'll give the time to you. Yeah. The Democrats gave their time to the Republican establishment who shot down everything that's on there, everything. You know, Sesame Street in Arabic. All of this has been, that is not what Doge is supposed to do. He told the president of the United States over and over and over again, I got $1 trillion of waste, fraud, and abuse. What do I mean by that? I mean the 3.5 minutes that the president of the United States, on his advice, took in the joint, the State of the Union or the joint thing to Congress, to remember the mantra of going through all the Social Security people that were 200 years old. Not one penny was ever found. Okay, where's the fraud in Medicaid, which is rife for fraud? Never came up with anything. Where's the fraud at the Pentagon, which is the Mac daddies of waste, fraud, and abuse? Not one penny.
We've never seen this before, where we have all of these judges who are issuing nationwide injunctions. Steve, they're purporting to set policy for the whole country. They're doing it to Trump more than anybody else, more than any other president combined. They're doing it to Trump. And what I went back and forth on with Professor Shaw, who's married to Chris Hayes, what I pointed out to her is that, she said, like a lot of other liberals just a year ago, nationwide injunctions are a travesty. Her quote was, they are a threat to democracy. And I said, what about now? And now she's all for them, just like all the other liberals. And then what they won't tell you is, Steve, is that these injunctions are coming overwhelmingly from liberal judges in liberal jurisdictions. They say, oh, Trump is uniquely lawless. Oh, give me a break. Why is it then that only liberal judges in liberal jurisdictions are the ones out there abusing this power and issuing these nationwide injunctions, trying to play Supreme Court, trying to play president? We have to stop this, or it is going to absolutely wreck our system of law.
Guys, everything that you're hearing now, you want to know how corrupt DC is, the federal government is, these judges are? You're not going to believe what I'm about to show you. And I'm telling you guys, I bust my butt to bring you the best show every day of showing you everything that I'm telling you, you won't see a lot of this stuff on mainstream. But look at the screen right now. Doge has just found that federal employees who took the Trump buyout, the federal employees said, okay, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to take an 8-month payout and I'm going to go into the private sector and I'm going to leave the federal government so that we reduce the size of government. Well, guess what the Doge has just found out? Federal workers receive $25,000 to $40,000 stipends to leave, payments to leave the federal government. But now deep state federal government workers are hiring the same people back, but not as employees, as independent contractors. And those people are not repaying the money that Trump gave them. Everything about this is coming out, and Doge just found this out, guys. Like, it literally breaks my heart that the corruption is this apparent. It's this vivid. It's this real in our government nowadays, that people would steal so much from the taxpayer. And this is what the Democrats plan, because it is a overwhelmingly Democrat regime that is hiring back people that took a buyout and then hiring them back in the same positions as independent contractors, which technically they can do, but they're circumventing the law and they're wasting more of taxpayer money. These people basically got a $25,000 to $40,000 bonus, and then now they're coming back. So this right here is what you're about to hear next. The fight is so real in Congress right now to clean out the deep state. I hope you appreciate this, guys. I want to say thank you so much, Greg, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, what looks like is going on or not going on is precisely how Trump is playing the game. No one knows his moves. We just sit back, grab the popcorn, watch what bombshells he unleashes. Let's go. Y'all show Greg some love in the chat, as well as Lay Lewis for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from Lay, show her some love in the chat. Growing the family, guys. We are bringing you the truth and the receipts. This is insane, a time that we're living in. But this is the stuff that's happening, and that's why we got to vote MAGA. We got to vote America first.
I want to go to her specific thing, because you called her and you kind of froze her, and she said, well, I'm for it now, because you had the chart, you had the quote. She goes, I'm for it now because Trump is uniquely lawless. What is your response to that? Give us to it again, because this is very important. That's what they're arguing. Oh, we've changed because Trump is a dictator. Sir,
Yeah, all it means is that they don't like Trump. Trump bad. So since Trump is bad and we're not getting our way, therefore we are now in favor of everything we were once against. Now we are in favor of abusing the court system. A year ago, Steve, these Democrats were howling and saying any nationwide injunction was a threat to democracy. Those are their words. Those are her words. And when I confronted her with it, she said, okay, yeah, all right, fine, I did say that. But, but Trump, it's the ultimate non sequitur. What they won't admit is it's only liberal judges in liberal jurisdictions that are issuing these injunctions. It's 100% politics. You know it, I know it, the American people know it. It's 100% politics. And Steve, I've said it before, the rule of law in this country is supposed to be blind, not blinded by rage. And right now these liberals are enraged and they are willing to burn it all down just to stop Trump.
Before I turn to Natalie, we got a lot to talk about on the CCP. Situation.
And I really quick, guys, because I got to tell you this. Let me know your thoughts on this. There is new talks of replacing Mike Johnson with Elise Stefanik. True MAGA, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you choose Elise Stefanik over Mike Johnson?
We're working on Texas. I told you that earlier today. We'll have a lot more in Texas, hopefully Friday or Saturday. I'll be in Georgia on Friday, back for the Saturday show. These states, because a lot of things happen in the states. In New York, Elise Stefanik, this is a profile in courage. She stepped forward when nobody else would to do what? To take Cheney out of leadership. If Cheney hadn't been out of leadership, it'd have been much worse for President Trump. And she was a kind of a long shot at that time. One guarantee, that's courage. That's somebody that can read the room and will act, just like she acted when she came in and stepped into the impeachment. Remember, the first day's impeachment when this show started, one thing we said is that, hey, guys come to the microphone, that Jim Jordan's were, they're good men, but they're not the best communicators and that articulate. She stepped up in the impeachment, then she stepped up later. She's been grinding for years to turn New York State MAGA, and she's got a big MAGA following, and MAGA's getting some traction there. Remember the Bronx, President Trump's on fire there. And look at all that. Look at every district and every precinct, even in the greater Manhattan, coming right. That's all President Trump. You got this guy Lawler that has a congressional seat. We have to hold, or President Trump could get impeached. We have to hold that seat.
Yes.
As much as maybe this guy's not your cup of tea. Now he's making noises. He wants to run for governor. I will be brutally frank with you, bro. Unless you have the war room on your side driving the MAGA vote, it ain't going to happen. Just ask Youngkin. Let's see how popular Youngkin's candidates are in Virginia right now, in the Commonwealth. Because Youngkin's first and only time, war room every day was hammering to drive the vote for President Trump because we needed to win, not because we liked Youngkin. We thought he was kind of a clown, as I think he's proven. Yeah. So Lawler, we think you're a clown too. But we need to hold that House seat. However, you want to be a tough guy, you got big talk about thing, try it. You're not going to get any MAGA vote in a primary, zero. And the anti-Trump, never Trump people that are putting money into doing these fake polls that hate Trump, it's not going to work. Stefanik is grinded, and look, I'll be honest. I want Stefanik to be Speaker of the House. I don't want her to leave
there, guys.
Congress. She was good enough to give up the UN job and stick around. I want her to Speaker of the House because Polly Pockets ain't hacking it, right? The big, beautiful fiasco we got is Polly Pockets' problem. But she's got a shot to be governor of New York, and that is a game changer given the power of that office. Stefanik's worked on this for years. She's got a huge MAGA following. Anybody could bring this coalition together, it's her. You certainly can't, because MAGA is not that into you and will not be that into you if you run in a primary. It will be disastrous. And by the way, whether we like you or not, we got to hold that seat, and it looks like you're the guy that's going to hold that seat, so you got to hold the seat.
Guys, it is officially begun. Again, we show you everything. I'm not going to ever pull punches on this channel of not showing you the truth. If Donald Trump was to do something extremely stupid, I promise you I would show you it on this channel. I want America First policies. I want to do what is right by you and bring you all the news. But Trump came out and said, shockingly, the Democrat-controlled CBO just announced that the tariffs will be reducing the deficit by at least $2.8 trillion. Too bad this information could have been released earlier. It would have kept people from knowingly saying untruths. Phenomenal, guys. This is the truth of what's coming out. The CBO, for the past, I think the past 20 years, No person at the CBO has ever donated to a Republican Party, only the Democrat Party. So to see this is good stuff. But now, this is big, guys. I told you we were going to have a show today. I told you it was about to get real. Look what just got posted today that Elon Musk came out and said exactly. Money, that they have a school bus coming through. It says money Doge has saved the government. And then Trump's big beautiful bill coming in, smashing it to the side. This is what Elon Musk saying is exactly happening. This is big, guys. This is Elon Musk straight out saying in the biggest way possible, guess what? Everything that we did, you have totally destroyed, and things need to change. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you so much, Jay Ewers, for the super chat. Let's go. Said, Joel, you're my go-to news source. Thank you. Appreciate you, Jay Ewers. And B1 Sly One for the super chat. He said, not 40,000, but you're higher, Joel. Let's go. I love it. And what's new? Thank you so much for the super chat. Said, I trust Trump with my life and Elon with my money, and my Father God is on the side of MAGA. We'll be fine. Let's go. Y'all show what's new. And B1 Sly One and Jay Ewers, some love in the chat. And again, the pit bulls, they are fighting tooth and nail, guys. I'm showing you everything, even in Congress right now. One of the biggest fights that is unseen, that you're not seeing on mainstream media, is still the fight against the rogue judges. Check this out.
Good afternoon. I hereby call to order this hearing on the supposedly least dangerous branch, district judges versus Donald J. Trump. This hearing is a joint undertaking by the Subcommittee on the Constitution and the Subcommittee on Federal Courts because our country is facing a constitutional crisis, a full-blown judicial assault on the separation of powers that strikes at the very foundation of the Republic. What we're witnessing is the rise of judicial lawfare from the bench. One unelected district judge sitting in a courtroom in San Francisco or Boston or Baltimore can now issue a nationwide injunction that ties the hands of the President of the United States for all 330 million Americans. That's not law, that's judicial tyranny. President Donald Trump was elected by over 77 million Americans with a constitutional mandate to govern. These district judges, they were not elected. They were appointed by one individual and confirmed not to legislate, not to govern, but to apply the law.
Yep.
And yet, far too many of them have abandoned that role. They've stepped off the bench and into the political arena, issuing sweeping edicts that impose their policy preferences on 340 million Americans.
Yeah.
Let's walk through just a few of the most egregious recent examples. Economic policy. In New York City, the Court of International Trade struck down all of President Trump's tariffs under IEEPA, declaring that they exceeded executive authority. It was not judging, it was judges replacing the president's judgment on declaring a national emergency. And of course, that ruling was almost immediately stayed by the Court of Appeals. Deportation policy. In Baltimore, the chief judge for the District Court of Maryland issued an order preventing the removal of illegal aliens detained anywhere in the country, granting 2 days of automatic protection to anyone who files a habeas petition in Maryland, all without a hearing or legal findings. This single Maryland judge dictated national deportation policy and then tried to claw back the damage by amending the order. As chairman of the Subcommittee on Federal Courts, I'm investigating this overreach, and I've sent a letter to the Judicial Conference of the United States. But the judges did not stop there. In D.C., a judge blocked the federal government from requiring proof of citizenship to vote, overriding election integrity laws across all 50 states. In Boston, a judge weighed in on birthright citizenship, deciding a question of nationwide consequence for millions of illegal aliens despite the plaintiffs being solely one pregnant mother and two nonprofit organizations. That's absurd. That is policymaking and legislating. That is not adjudication. In Boston, a different judge blocked a Department of Energy rate cap, handcuffing efforts to lower taxpayer costs for energy research. In Rhode Island, a judge ordered the federal government to immediately disperse tens of millions of dollars under the Inflation Reduction Act and other programs. The Department of Energy alone was forced to release $50 million by judicial fiat. In San Francisco, a judge mandated that the Office of Personnel Management rehire all terminated federal workers and restricted future firings, effectively turning the judiciary into an HR department. Yet another Maryland judge halted orders intending to stop funding for institutions mutilating minors through so-called gender transitions. These deeply consequential decisions were blocked not by voters, not by Congress, but in each instance by one unelected judge.
All right, guys, we got some breaking news. I have to show you this, guys. Like, again, this is coming out as I'm speaking, and I don't hold back on this channel. When things come out, I'm going to show you. And this has come out in the last minutes. President Trump states, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore. Let me know your thoughts, guys. This is huge. Also, Elon Musk says President Trump is false and the spending bill was never shown to me once and was passed in the dead of night. This is Elon Musk's post. He said, false. This bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. This is the same playbook by the same speaker that they pass bills without reading it. That even Nancy Pelosi, what does she say? Well, we have to pass it to figure it out what's in it. Elon Musk, oh my goodness, guys, like, you don't know what I'm I'm feeling the feels right now. The statements that are being said by Elon Musk and Trump are very, they're in an attack forms of just verbal attacks, that Elon Musk is calling out everybody and is not afraid. He cannot be bought. This is a man that does not care what people think. And he's called out Trump's big, beautiful bill. He's called out what actually happened, passed in the middle of the night. Nobody read it. It's pork filled. It raises the deficit. It raises the national debt. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is crazy. We would not have guessed that this would have happened. At the same time, too, we're showing you everything. But I want to say, guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, I'm going to deliver to you the breaking bombshell news, even in the middle of a show. Doesn't matter when. I want you to be informed. Thank you so much, Patrick Trebet, for the super chat. My favorite GIF. Let's go. Y'all show Patrick some love in the chat.
And it doesn't stop there. Since President Trump returned to office in January, there have been over 40 universal injunctions issued against the federal government. That's in 4 months. 35 of those 40 came from the same 5 judicial districts. Let's put this into context. In the first 150 years of the Republic, 0 nationwide injunctions were issued. 0. That's for 150 years. In the entirety of the 20th century, 27 nationwide injunctions were issued.
God.
That's over 100 years. Under Presidents Bush, Obama, and Biden combined, 32 nationwide injunctions. Under President Trump's first term, 4 years, 64 nationwide injunctions, and now in just 4 months, we're already over 40.
God.
In 4 months, the Trump administration has seen more nationwide injunctions than the entirety of the 20th century and more nationwide injunctions than Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden combined. This is...
All right, another breaking news, guys. This is what's now circulating. That Trump, everybody is trying to say that Trump and Elon are fighting. Trump wants, and this is what this leaked news is saying, that Trump wants a better bill. And he's literally telling Elon to use his megaphone to oppose the bill to continue to clean it up and make it better. That sounds like a chess move that Trump would make. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Not normal. This is not justice. This is an orchestrated campaign of judicial obstruction. Joe Biden, when he was president, nominated to the bench radicals. I have said, only slightly tongue-in-cheek, that Joe Biden did something I used to think was impossible. He made me miss Barack Obama. But by comparison, the Biden judicial nominees were far more extreme and radical than they were under Obama. They sought out radicals who would implement policymaking from the bench, and they are doing precisely that. That is not democracy, and that is not our Constitution. This hearing is to highlight the effects of this judicial tyranny, of single judges deciding they know better when it comes to policy than do the voters of America.
Guys, we are exposing everybody right now. Oh my goodness. Like, look, this, I love this because, again, too, we get to show you things you're not going to see on mainstream media. So the House Oversight Committee, led by Chairman James Comer, has just released the names of people that either show up that were deeply involved in the abuse of the auto pen. So these are the names. These are the people that they have records of who executed the auto pen without the full consent of Biden. Michael Donnellan, Anita Dunn, Ron Klain, Bruce Reed, Steve Ricchetti. They will either come in, give a full confession on their own, or be subpoenaed. Like, this is massive, everybody. I want to say thank you so much, Fred Samuel, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, I feel like Elon used Trump and MAGA to advance his businesses. I would say Elon Musk is Tesla, especially not so. Right now, it's still $100 below where it was at, and still hundreds of billions of dollars in lower value. But this is big. But again, too, Elon Musk, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who even outwardly admitted that she did not read the full bill. Now they're all coming out and being more transparent and actually letting us know what the heck is going on. And now we're hearing more of spending cancellation requests that are coming, guys. This is good stuff. Stop wasting our tax dollars for frivolous agendas led by the Democratic Party. Listen to this.
Demanding to codify cuts in Congress ASAP. We're talking about the DOGE cuts. Let's bring in Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, great to see you. So the first rescission package, love that word because it means, well, it sounds like pair of scissors, giant pair of scissors. $9.4 billion is what's been introduced. It cuts spending on USAID, foreign aid, and then public TV and radio, so PBS, the Committee for Public Broadcasting. So rescission package $9.4 billion, that is less than 1/10 of what we paid in interest on the national debt just last month, to put it in perspective. How much more do we need to do, or how much more is Congress even willing to do?
Right here, guys.
I think that we need to do a lot more. In fact, I would prefer that Congress could get back to pre-pandemic levels of spending. And even then, so I know a lot of people talk about when the last time the budget was actually balanced. And that was a very, very long time ago. I think I was maybe about 5 years old when that happened. So the fact is that these are all goals that are attainable, but it would require Congress to do their job, which is why you've been seeing me absolutely nuke my own party, because I do believe that, President Trump brought us over the finish line in the midterms. Obviously, over 77 million voted in favor of Trump's policies. And so it's the least that we can do. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, we were waiting for reconciliation. Remember, for those that might not know the parliamentary procedures of reconciliation votes only require about 51 versus the 60 threshold in the Senate to pass legislation. And so, look, the Senate's going to have to do their job. And I also want to advise people that the Senate is going to be sending back a version of the bill that we voted out of the House that might have some tweaks. And I would urge all my colleagues in the Senate to look and make sure that more is actually cut in regards to the pork that was loaded into the initial big, beautiful bill. However, I'm going to also say that, yes, I have spoken to Speaker Johnson now multiple times this week and today, especially. And I can tell you that the first rescission package is going to be one of many. And then also starting next week, we are also going to be voting on codifying not just Trump's executive orders, but some of those DOJ savings. And so, look, the Dems are saying that we're going after Medicare and Social Security. That's actually false. We're actually protecting these programs for generation to come by getting rid of that fraud, waste, and abuse.
Congresswoman, ignore the Democrats. Ignore the canned lies that Megyn talked about. They're going to call you names no matter what you do. And on the rescission, you can start cutting right now, tomorrow morning. This vote is there. It's privileged. It can be brought to the floor and done, and you can go to the next one. On reconciliation in the Senate, and hopefully they go deeper with the cuts, if that comes back and the parliamentarian says yes, I don't see why it should not get done right now. That's another one. The date's certain. Just get it back. It's already as clean as it gets. Go deeper.
I agree. I think right now the Senate has been working bankers' hours, and it's also frustrating because they're also sitting on nominations that the president put forward to include ambassadors, et cetera. So the Senate and Thune need to get more aggressive on the schedule. But I agree, and I've been pushing the speaker and I've been pushing the leadership. A lot of people don't understand the process. So really, there's a House Rules Committee. They tee up all of the legislation that comes to the floor, and then we all vote on it. I think we should have started.
All right, guys, I got to call this out. Okay, so the House Rules Committee tees up everything that comes to the floor. So if the House Rules Committee doesn't tee it up, whoever is leading that committee, it's their agenda that essentially gets teed up because they're the ones that can put stuff to the floor. There are so many things right now that have not been put to the floor that should be. But again, I always try to listen for what are they telling us without really telling us what's going on.
Voting on this stuff the day after we swore into the new 119th Congress. But again, I'm not the speaker, I'm not the majority leader. And so I'm going to continue to apply pressure the way that I have been. But I do think that if we are going to really protect our generation for futures to come, we also need to get serious about the spending. And so I am one of the top 5 most conservative members of Congress, according to my voting record, and I continue to carry out what I'm saying I'm going to be doing.
Not everybody wants to cut spending more. Josh Hawley wants to put spending back in that was taken out for Medicaid. I don't know what was taken out that would possibly hurt anybody in his state, because again, it's just slowing the spending growth. Susan Collins has issues. Tom Tillis wants his doesn't want his green energy handouts taken away from him. But really quickly, I just want to get your reaction. When the debt ceiling is lifted, the Treasury is going to borrow over $1 trillion to replenish its cash account. The debt will be $38 trillion by September. Ugh. What will your constituents say to that, Congresswoman?
You know, I can tell you that my constituents are very much so in support of President Trump's agenda, but they're also trusting me to try to do something about the debt and to ensure that we can get to a balanced budget. I can tell you that in regards to raising the debt ceiling, I do not want to do that. I do not think that that is a good fiscal move. But I can also tell you right now, I'm hoping that if we continue to trust President Trump with his foreign policy in regards to tariffs as well, and then also the economy, we might actually be able to turn this ship around Remember, under Biden, there was a lot spent. We were handed a broken economy. And also, too, the former speaker, Kevin McCarthy, put the whole debt ceiling negotiation on this administration's lap. So it's a lot, but we'll get through it. We can't continue doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Congressman, remember, dynamic. Remember that?
Guys, let me tell you this. You want to talk about seeing real numbers and actually feeling what is actually going on? This chart right here is the truth. It took us 221 years for total U.S. debt to reach 12 trillion. In just 4 years, the U.S. added 12 trillion in 4 years. This chart right here is the perfect example. We have not a spending problem, we have a people problem in Congress. If the people in Congress actually knew what they were doing and could actually set things in motion and make things fair, we just showed you that Trump's tariffs policies are going to reduce the deficit by 2.8 trillion. How come this wasn't done 50 years ago? It was because there was people that were getting kickbacks. All them people are getting paid. People like Lindsey Graham, who now is being asked to resign from their chairman's seat, who is now being exposed for spending over $25 million in the past 4 years on Ukraine visits, just to Ukraine, staying at luxurious hotels that cost between $400,000 to $800,000 per time. Everybody's getting exposed. I want to say thank you so much, Tijuana Border. Wait, hold on. I got to say this full name, guys. It's Tijuana Border. Hold on. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you so much for the super chat. Said M. Johnson is a plant, another useless rhino. Let's vote them all out this midterm election cycle. Americans first, baby. I love it. Y'all show Tijuana Border Jumper some love in the chat, as well as Sherry Garcia. Thank you so much for the super chat. Said need to get back to pre-income tax spending. And thank you so much, Michael Sims, who said, big fan, just wanted to say I feel so bad for voting in the past for Democrats. I voted for Trump this time. MAGA forever. I love it, guys. We're showing you everybody. We're exposing everybody. There's people that were called out on how they voted, where they were at on, look at this, guys. Again, they're being caught. Tell me, this is a person that is very adamant about saving money, but is now kind of like, I'm going over to Elon's side. What do you think? Is it Elon Musk? Is he right? Or should they just pass the big, beautiful bill as is? Check this out.
Said, as I said when I voted on the bill, I did so reluctantly. I had concerns that it doesn't go far enough. Everybody knows that. It's like not really surprising. I would have gone much further with reductions. I would have done stuff with FMAP and provider taxes and things that I think are necessary. That being said, I think I don't think he's highlighting the significant reforms in the Inflation Reduction Act. I don't think he's highlighting the key reforms in Medicaid, almost $1 trillion. When you take it all in balance, those things are enormous wins and enormous step forward. So my posture remains the same, which is, look, I voted for it to move the ball down the field. I think there needs to be improvements. I said that at the time. The Senate's going to put their, fingerprints on it. We'll see if they make it better or worse. I hope they'll make it better.
He says you guys are going to leave the country with unsustainable debt because of this bill.
Well, look, I think what he's not, accounting for there is dynamic impact and looking at the entirety.
Guys, oh my goodness. This is the most bombshell post that has just came out from Elon Musk. We're going to watch the rest of this video and then I'm going to show you. Oh my goodness, this is insane.
Being a package, we were taking that on account. And I remind you at the time, you look at the total package, you look at the dynamic scoring over 10 years versus say the next 3 or 4 years. My point at the time and remains, you still have significant deficits even on a dynamic impact over the first 3 or 4 years. And I don't think we should do that. And I didn't think so at the time. And I think the Senate ought to address that. So what I'm saying is I agree it needs to improve. I've got priorities as well to go alongside that, which is getting reforms to Medicaid and getting significant reforms to the Green New Scam. So you got to weigh all of that and then decide how much we can get out of it.
A lot of Republican senators are telling me, including Senator Lisa Murkowski, and they want to push back the Medicaid work requirements. They think it's not workable. They also want to push back the phase out of the IRA tax credits. If it comes back,
it'll be dead. It'll be dead. So if the Senate wants to go that direction, then this bill is, it's not even close to passing. So they need to go further, or the bill's dead. And hell, even if it bounces back as it was, I'm not sure it passes the House again. So they need to make the bill better if this thing's going to move forward. I got to go, Bo.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, sit back. I hope you got your popcorn. I'm about to show you the most bombshell post that I have ever seen come from Elon Musk. Oh my goodness, guys. Wow. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this together. We're going to do this together, guys. This is history, what I'm about to show you. Just came out. Elon Musk just posted, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. Whoa! Oh my goodness, guys. I don't even know how to process this right now. I'm going to read it again. You see me, I'm standing up. This is not normal for me, guys. This is how powerful of the words that are said on the screen. They're going to impact the relationship between Trump, Elon Musk. They're going to impact what happens with the House bill. Everything is like this right here. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to read it again. Without me, this is Elon Musk. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. It is over, guys. Oh my goodness. You have to know, guys. Remember, this is I want to bring the context to you. Elon Musk would not have said this if there wasn't words that were already said behind the scenes with him, Trump, and Mike Johnson. Okay, Trump just came out and said, I would have won Pennsylvania regardless of Elon. I'm very disappointed with Elon. He knew this bill better than anyone, and he only developed a problem when he found out I would cut the EV mandate. Guys, this is the worst thing that could have happened. Oh my goodness. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is the worst thing for the GOP. This is the worst thing for the relationship between President Trump and Elon Musk, for them to implode upon each other. Oh my goodness, guys. This is nuts. Well, we're going to see. Edward Wheeler, thank you so much for the super chat. This is nuts, guys. Let me go ahead and bring this over. I'm showing you everything, guys. I don't hold back anything. This is it. I would have won Pennsylvania regardless of Elon. I'm very disappointed with Elon. He knew this bill better than anyone. He only developed a problem when he found out I would cut the EV mandate. Earlier, we showed you that Elon said that was false. Elon earlier said, false, this bill was never shown to me even once, and it was passed in the dead of night, so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. Holy Toledo, holy smoke, guys, holy smokes. This is, oh my goodness, I don't even know how to process this right now, but this is huge, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We told you we were bringing the bombshell news today. This is the breaking news. Please like this video. If you haven't liked it, please hit that thumbs up like button. Please share this video. We are living in history right now. It's exposure of everybody. And regardless to say what is right, regardless if Trump or Elon or Mike Johnson or the Democrats go against it, what is putting America first and what is right and what is transparency is the truth. And that's what we expose on this channel, is the truth. That's why we're called TrueLife News. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, to all of our viewers. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family. I'm telling you guys, I'm faster than what the mainstream media is. I'm showing you things in real time of what's going on. Oh my goodness. I want to say thank you to all of our members. I want to say thank you to everybody that watches us, to supports us through your super chats. Remember, when you donate on this channel, whether you're a member or super chat, we donate this money live on stream to a local charity on the 22nd of every single month. And this month, we're going to be donating to a homeless veteran shelter. Guys, thank you so much. What's new? Thank you so much for the super chat. Said, this too shall pass, have faith. Sherry Garcia saying, good cop, bad cop. Thank you so much for the super chat. Fred Samuel said, I voted for Trump, not Elon. I trust Trump. Tijuana Border Jumper said, he's only speaking the truth, can't fault him. Guys, show them some love in the chat. I want to give some more love to Monica Lipscomb, Fed Up Patriot, Jeff Puffreman, Greg, Lay Lewis for gifting 5 True Life News memberships, Jay Ewers, B1 Sly One, What's New, Patrick Trebet, Fred Samuel, Tijuana Border Jumper, Sherry Garcia, Michael Sims, Edward Wheeler. Guys, show them some love in the chats. Huge historic news today. A lot's going to happen in the next 24 to 48 hours. We will be here to break the news for you and serve you. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.